wanna play, I wanna sing my song, I just wanna run and not be gone too long. 'Cause this time is precious still, I wanna keep it close to me. I'm wishing on a star to make more time to see. You can always dream, you can put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming. You can always dream, no one's taken that from you, only you can see it through, just like the way you do. So feed it from your soul and weigh it from both sides. The fulcrum and the tides will give direction that you'll know. You can always dream, you can put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming. When you make the time, it's a game of give and take. When the balance is at stake, you need to take a look inside, look deep into your heart, and remember how it feels. It's where the answer lies and tells you what is real. You can always dream, you can put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what
morning, Celebration Center. Welcome, welcome. I say welcome on this beautiful day because I'm a person that loves rain. Even as a kid, I loved rain. I would go for walks in the rain. I'm glad my mom let me do that. So I'm Jen Fay. I will be your host and speaker and platform practitioner today. And I just want to thank everyone who's here for being here. Thank you, thank you. If you are in person, you might please turn off your ringer on your phone. And so I want to take a moment to also thank those who are helping this service happen, which would be in the sound booth, Ivor and Aiden. Yay! Of course, there's me. You heard all that I'm doing. Yay! And then our music, I'm not going to call them guests because Soul Pajamas, Dan and Aaron, have been a part of this community, I think, longer than I have. They now live in Western Massachusetts, so they're coming to us streaming. So thank you, Dan and Aaron. So, announcements. Today after service, we are having our Healing Circle in person. If you have not come to the Healing Circle, either in person or online, I highly recommend the experience. It's, we come together and we sit in a circle, and there's usually one person, sometimes two, that are looking for some sort of shift, change, healing, and so they're in the center, and then we are praying and a little meditation, and then we listen to a little music, and all while we're holding an intention for their desires, for what they're looking for in their lives. I tell you, I think we're building as we go along. We're into, it's got to be 4 years. I'll have to look up somewhere to track that, but I'm sure it's at least 4 years. So that's today, right after service at 12:15. And just a sidebar, the last Healing Circle we did online on Tuesday, I had a vision of an altar with a map of the United States and candles on each state. And it was like a ceremonial thing. So I decided to honor that vision, and we'll have a little ceremony a little later. So next week, second Sunday, we always have our community sing-along as well as cookies and conversation. So please plan to be here for that and stay after service. Then the third Sunday, May 18th, we'll be doing our Let's Talk About God discussion group, and that is in person and on Zoom, as well as the Healing Circle is also on Zoom today and in person. So we were set to start the book group on Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon, this Wednesday, May 7th, but we have decided to push it out. Something's come up with one of those facilitators. She needs to go see a friend who is not in a good place. And so we're pushing it out 1 week, which would be the 14th. Is that right? I think, May 14th. If you do not know, or you're not familiar with Joe Dispenza, in my opinion, he is doing cutting edge work. Just Google him and read about him, but he's amazing in what he's doing. We are suggesting, so we're taking 1 chapter a week, and there will be breaks because there's 15 chapters. And we're also suggesting a love offering of $100, which breaks down to like $6 a class, so quite a bargain. And it'll be Reverend Faith and I facilitating. Okay, so getting ready for our opening song with Dan and Aaron. Just a little background, they've been together singing since 1999. And Dan is a singer-songwriter, and Aaron is a jazz vocalist. They are known throughout the New Thought movement, and they can be heard at many CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living centers, Unity, Unitarian churches, and others. Their music is empowering and positive and meant to be inclusive. Please welcome Dan and Aaron.
Good morning, Celebration Center family. Wonderful to see you. This is a favorite song of mine that Dan wrote. Are you ready to dry up your tears? Are you ready? Say goodbye to your fears. Rev it up, shifting gears, higher and higher till morning appears. Are you ready to come out and play? Are you ready to seize a brand new day? Live it up, don't delay. Magic and mystery and more on the way. Now, my friend, now is the time for beginning. Choose again, releasing the need to know exactly how it will go. When I'm ready, really, 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 really ready. Ba-ba, dee-ba, 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 wee, ba-da, dee-da, 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 ba-ba, ba-da-da-ba-da, ba-ba, doo-ba, 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 doo-da, dwee-bop, dwee-bop, bee-bop, wee-bop, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. I'm ready to make a new start. Creating my world is a work of art. Make it up, play a part. Stars on my ceiling and joy in my heart. Now, my friend, now is the time for beginning. Choose again, releasing the need to know exactly how it will go. And I'm ready to make a new start. Creating my world is a work of art. Shake it up, break apart. Stars on my ceiling and joy. Stars on my ceiling and joy. Stars on my ceiling and joy. In my heart, yes, in my heart. Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now? Are you ready? Tell me, baby. Tell me, are you ready now?
Thank you, Aaron and Dan. I love that song. Yes, I'm ready. Okay, so please join me in reminding you that we do prayer here. That's something we do regularly. We believe in prayer. There are green cards over on the table where you can fill out a form and We will be praying, the practitioners and ministers will be praying with you all week. You can also go to the website, celebrationcenter.org. There is a button that says Request Affirmative Prayer. So please take advantage of that. And also, practitioners are available to pray with you in person. Just ask. So the theme for May is to explore the powerful impact of self-advocacy, setting boundaries, conflict resolution for both personal and collective well-being. And today's theme is Confidence Unleashed Self-Advocacy, which is speaking up with clarity. Morning. Speaking up with strength in every aspect of life. So I have a short quote from Brené Brown on this topic, where she says about self-advocacy, don't shrink, don't puff up, stand your sacred ground. So be who you are. It encourages us to stand firm in our beliefs and values, which is key aspect of self-advocacy. And I have a short statement from Mahatma Gandhi. You may never know what result will come of your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no result. Seems a little obvious, but good reminder. All right, let's take a moment and take a breath together. And hold that breath. And then exhale. And again, inhale. And hold. And exhale. One more. And so it is from this place of connection, I invite you to feel the presence of love in this room, the presence of spirit, the presence of life expressing through each of us. Divine life lives within each of us. And as we know this presence, and recognize that it is expressing everywhere through all of life, we embrace it more fully, this presence within us. That we are unique expressions of the divine. And regardless of what's going on in your life, you are moving forward because spirit does not go backwards. Spirit is always evolving, moving forward, becoming renewed. And as we consider the idea of self-advocacy, it is something that renews us as we stand in our truth, as we hold dear our values and principles. We are renewed and often set free. And so I'm grateful for this topic and the center. Grateful for the evolving relationships as we continually get to know each other better and better. Seeing the wonder in each other. Seeing the grace. The beauty, having delight in these connections. And so I simply affirm that in this moment we have the ability to send out healing energy from the very essence of our hearts. Taking a moment to send out some healing energy to anyone, anywhere, who is suffering, anyone who is in need of food or shelter, anyone who is living in fear or worry, that they may find comfort and all of their needs met right now. The Spirit is on this planet, on the field, so to speak, and in the quantum field, the creative field of energy, where we put our ideas and allow them to manifest in our experiences. And so with a grateful heart, I simply release these words into that universal law, that quantum field, that mystical aspect of life that is paying attention to what I believe and what we believe, and it responds perfectly. And so it is. We have another song from Dan and Aaron.
You all may know this. This is from the famous New Thought writer, Janice Stanfield. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed that the wind always filled up my sail, how far would I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to be what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of the sea, are there miracles in you and me? Yes, if I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave?
What would I do today if I were brave?
What would I do today if I were brave?
What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, will the voice of courage whisper in my ear?
If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would
Thank you, Erin and Dan. Yes, what would we do if we were brave? And I just want to let you know, if you have a dream, if you have something that you are called to be, to do, and you want support with that, this community is here for you. That's how I got to be here as a practitioner. It's being brave and having a whole lot of support. Yes, spiritual community is awesome. Okay. So today when I was thinking about this topic, the poem came to mind. Some of you are familiar with this poem. It's called The Invitation by Oriya Mountain Dreamer. So I'm going to read through it once, and then we're going to go back and just kind of unpack it a little bit. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow. If you have been opened by life's betrayals or have become shriveled and closed for fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own. And if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you up to your fingers, the tips of your fingers and toes, without cautioning us to be careful or be realistic, or to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. If you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. If you can be faithful and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty every day, even when it's not pretty. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of a lake and shout to the silver of a full moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after a night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the quiet moments. Okay. So thinking about that first stanza, going into what I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. So what is your heart's longing? A worthy pursuit to think about your heart's longing. What makes your heart sing? What do you wish you had more time for? Can you dare to make time for what matters to you? And it doesn't have to be big. It can be simple pleasures. Things like spending time with friends, family, being out in nature. Some people like to watch birds, and they get in that zone. What puts you in that zone where you're in delight and you lose track of time and you're either having fun or something, there's something fascinating going on, something creative perhaps? And I know there's a lot of people that say they're not creative, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Everyone is creative. We can't help it. That's just the way we were made. Spirit is creative. We are the essence of spirit in form. So we are creative, and we are meant to express ourselves. So can you give yourself permission to express yourself? That is self-advocacy. That is self-care. To let yourself have fun, to do meaningful things. The next stanza talks about, are you willing to risk looking like a fool? Well, what does that mean, to look like a fool? Who gets to decide what foolish is? We all need to be ourselves because who we are matters. And, if we are worried about looking like a fool, maybe we're too worried about what other people think. So can we give ourselves permission to experiment, to come to life with a light heart, to be willing to laugh at ourselves when we do make a mistake? What about being a fool for love? What does that look like? Going beyond the societal norms? Would some people say, oh, you're doing too much? And yet you have decided you are in the service of love. You have decided, perhaps, that you are love made visible. And you're willing to go beyond the norms. Being more accepting, forgiving, compassionate. So being that essence of love, love made visible. Just take a moment and think about how that looks in your life. Love made visible. So somebody from the outside witnessing you're doing something probably would be able to say, oh, isn't that sweet? They can sense, they can see the caring, the loving, the thoughtfulness. Being in service to love. Think of love as not just an emotion, but an entity. Some equate love with God, Spirit. So if we are willing to be sort of an agent for love, we are in service for the divine. And don't forget about love made visible for yourself? What do you do for yourself as an act of kindness, as an act of self-advocacy? It's a statement that I know I matter when I do kind things for myself, when I cut myself slack, when I turn away from the criticism and the judgment that comes up in my head. That's an act of self-love and self-advocacy. Would you be willing to look like a fool for the adventure of being alive? So adventure, that's an interesting word. Again, adventures can be big, but they can also be simple pleasures. So I invite you to celebrate when you are in that space of feeling alive and adventurous. Makes me think of the two words that I won't remember his name, from the prayer, the alchemist prayer, about love, mischief. I love those two words together. It feels light, it feels joyful, it feels open-hearted, it feels adventurous. The next stanza talks about being with your own sorrow. And so think about pain. Pain takes us into a deeper experience of being human. It's, the pain, the sorrow, the grief, all those low frequencies, they don't hold the power compared to the high frequencies of love and peace and joy and all those states of well-being. And yet, when we are experiencing pain, discomfort in any way, whether it's in our bodies, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, feeling separate, it's very powerful. It's a very powerful experience. So I want you to just maybe take a moment here and just close your eyes and imagine that anything that you would call pain, in that pain category, that it's right in your heart, it's right there. Well, it's like this ball of energy. And it's a heavier feeling, I know. But imagine that you can compress that, and your heart, with all those high vibrational frequencies, just begins to move through that ball of energy. Perhaps it sort of loosens up the constriction. It's bringing light into that ball. Coming to a place of understanding that we don't have to re-experience all of those memories. We just need to allow for the heart to transcend it, to transform it, to release it. And so although those sad moments can be life-changing, we recognize that, we honor that, they don't have the same power as the high vibrations, the frequencies of love, the frequencies of peace and wholeness, all those states of well-being, the wisdom in your heart, the truth, the harmony, the balance, the light, the radiance, the joy. This amazing heart can hold these low frequencies, but can help us transform them. Hallelujah to that. And so as we release them, we do get to keep the wisdom of the experience. So can you trust your heart to reveal a greater truth about the pain? Let your heart reveal a new possibility that will diminish the power of the pain. It's so good to relax into that heart space. Feel the power of your own heart. The next stanza talks about joy. Sometimes we don't let the joy in. Perhaps we are too often afraid that something bad is going to happen. Perhaps we've seen too many movies where everything in the movie, is just going really well and really amazingly and everything's great. And then all of a sudden something terrible happens. That is not the reality. Yes, bad things happen. But it doesn't happen all the time. And so let the joy in. Be with the joy. Let yourself feel the joy. I do believe it is more of our natural state than anything else, to be in that lightness. The spiritual body, the yogis talk about the spiritual body as the bliss body. That is our truest self, that spiritual self. So as humans in a body, which is not easy to contain this spiritual being in this little body, let the joy in. Celebrate the joy. Let yourself dance and feel the ecstasy of joy. Share it with other people. Bring that lightheartedness into the world. Consider how you express joy now. Without feeling the need to be realistic or cautious. Feeling the joy without remembering that we've been told being human means we have limitations. Can you imagine us all as the beloved children, free to express ourselves? That we are loved so much that we can't laugh too loud. We can't dance too wildly. We can't play too hard. That we get to express. And in our expressions, we are appreciated and celebrated. Feeling joyful and alive. I'll take more of that. The next stanza talks about what it means to be true to yourself. So that is a lot about self-advocacy, being true to yourself. Do we know what we hold dear? Do we live from our values, our spiritual principles? So speaking up for ourselves, it may require some courage, especially when we feel like we have to disagree. And yet speaking our truth can set us free. I'll give you an example from my life. Many years ago, probably 50 years ago, I was in a relationship with a man who had a drinking problem. And after a number of years, I started going to Al-Anon. Now, Al-Anon is all about self-advocacy. And, turning the focus on yourself instead of the other person. And it's also about setting boundaries. And as soon as I put those principles to application and tried to set some boundaries, he was done with me. And it was a good thing because it set me free. So it's a powerful thing to stand up for yourself. It's empowering, and you just feel stronger and more courageous. Yeah. So the next stanza, we're getting towards the end. What is this beauty that's not pretty that Aura Mountain Dreamer is talking about? Might it be the inner experience of life? Isn't the inner experience, our spiritual experiences, aren't they beautiful? Aren't they amazing? And yet they're not, we wouldn't call them pretty. They go beyond the physical world, and they can have profound impacts on our lives in the material world. Those spiritual connections can be life-changing. And so the next stanza is talking about failure. And self-love allows us to celebrate life even when we fail, and that we can shout yes. Because if you think about, really, there is no failure. If you think about scientists, they do experiments all the time, and you might call it failing. It's not failing, it's learning something new. It's learning something that takes them to the next step. And then if they fail there or don't get the result they want, it takes them to the next step. I think that's true for all of life, that we aren't failing, that we are moving forward, and that we need to give ourselves more permission to experiment and recognize that even when things don't go the way we want, it was a success because we tried, we did something, we took a risk. The next stanza talks about caring for children when we are tired and burned out. And, that's kind of a bottom line. How do we do this? What does it take to do what needs to be done? There's an inner strength that allows us to do that. That inner strength. Think about, where do you find your sustenance that helps you to do what needs to be done? So advocating for ourselves may feel like standing in the fire. That next stanza talks about, will you stand in the fire with me? But to me, the fire could be more like passion. Standing strong in our passion and what matters to us. Not shrinking back, like Brene Brown said, not puffing up, but just being strong in who we are. And not giving up on ourselves or what matters. Knowing what sustains us. What sustains you? That's the real juice, isn't it, of life? What sustains us? Because it's not easy to be human. And so to know what sustains you will get you through anything. If you have that solid foundation of what works for you? Who do you turn to? Or do you go into prayer? What works? It is definitely my spiritual source and my spiritual community. Okay, last stanza. Talks about, I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. This happens perhaps more easily for introverts. But my grandmother said that people who are well-adjusted like their own company. I like that. And I'm grateful to be an introvert and that I do like my own company. All right. We are shifting gears here and going into a little ceremony. As I mentioned earlier, some of you didn't hear that. At the last healing circle on Tuesday night, I had a vision of an altar with the map of the United States and candles on every state. So this was participatory. Let's go ahead and dim the lights. Can somebody turn the lights off? And so you can come up and place, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not good with math, let's see. 12 into 50? 4? Okay, so you can put 4 candles on 4 states as you come up. I'm going to just speak the states alphabetically and do a little gonging just for dramatic effect for our little ceremony here. So as we move into this, honoring our country, honoring all the states, think about the changes you'd like to see. Think about your concerns. Think about the highest and best. What does that look like for our country, the highest and best? So we are going to have different ideas about that. That's okay. That's okay. All right. And so we begin. Come on up. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. We still have a few candles left. Somebody want to come up and just finish? Did you get a turn? Come on up. And while they finish putting the candles on the states, the states in the United States of America, I'm going to read the prayer for my country by Ernest Holmes, originally published in Science of Mind magazine in July 1953. Believing in the divine destiny of the USA, United States of America, and the preservation of liberty, security, and self-expression for all, I offer this, my prayer for my country. I know that divine intelligence governs the destiny of the USA, directing the thought and activity of all who guide its affairs. I know that success, prosperity, and happiness are the gifts of freedom and the divine heritage of everyone in this country. I know that success, prosperity, happiness, and freedom are now operating in the affairs of every individual in this country. I know that divine guidance enlightens the collective mind of the people of this country, causing the collective mind to know that economic security may come to all without the loss of either personal freedom or individual self-expression. I know that no one can believe or be led to believe that personal freedom must be surrendered in order to ensure economic security for all. The all-knowing mind contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. I know that every leader in this country is now directed by this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem. Each is impelled to act upon this knowledge, this solution that leads to the outcome of abundance, security, and peace for all. And I know that this spiritual democracy, I know this spiritual democracy shall endure, guaranteeing to everyone in this country personal liberty, happiness, and self-expression. And so join me in being grateful for the United States of America, its resilience, and always moving forward towards creating a world that works for all. I release these words into the law, knowing it is done. And so it is. All right, we have another song from Aaron and Dan, and I thought this was the perfect song. So as you're listening, although it's kind of a song, a prayer for someone, it could be a prayer for our country as well.
Actually, it's a prayer for all of us.
I've watched you grow, I've seen you shine. No space between your heart and mine. Long may you sing your journey song. This is my prayer for you.
The path is rough, an uphill climb, the way uncertain, hard to find. In darkest night, may you dream of dawn. This is my prayer for you. Bless your life, bless your day, bless each step you take all along your way.
Breathe deep, take it slow. Find control by letting go. May you bend but still be strong. This is my prayer for you. Bless your life, bless this day, bless each step you take all along your way.
My prayer for you is very small. It might not be a prayer at all. It's but a dream I like to call a simple prayer for you. This is my prayer for you.
My prayer for you.
That was beautiful. That was an original song with Dan and Roger. Can't think of his last name. Tell us his name. You still there, Dan? Oh, it's okay. Anyway, Dan co-wrote that. Okay, so I want to just take a moment to welcome anyone who's online. Feel free to say hi in the chat. Let us know how you found us and how we're doing. Also, there's a QR code that you can fill out if you're a new person. We have a guest card. We also have them on the table. I don't think anybody here is new today. And so we move into our time of offertory. And just know that your presence here is a gift. And we also do delight in financial contributions. So there are many ways that you can give. There is a QR code if you're online, and you can also go to the website and press the Give button. You can mail a check. Our address is on the website, celebrationcenter.org. Please join me in our offertory affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so we take a moment just to be grateful. Grateful for everyone here who is contributing to this service, because just showing up, you're contributing. We have created this individual, collective pool of consciousness for this service. And I'm so grateful for everyone contributing in other ways, sharing their time and talent and treasure. And so we just say thank you, knowing that as we give, we receive. And so it is. All right, we have a closing song.
Turn it down.
This is a really a wonderful song by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin. For those of you who know them, they're just wonderful songwriters and great singers and musicians. Anyway, it's just really such a encouraging song. That's the way I think of it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You are right smack dab in the midst of the action. You're the main attraction. You're in the right place at the right time. You're a legend in your own mind, so take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. When the world outside gets a little bit dry and the same old is passing you by, there's a wide world inside that smells of freshly falling rain. There are angels watching like long-lost friends till you find your sense of humor again. Take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You are right smack dab in the midst of the action. You're the main attraction. You're in the right place at the right time. You're a legend in your own mind, so take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. Well, you wake up funky like a foggy day, and your world inside feels cloudy and gray. Take yourself for a walk on the wild side. Outside in the sunshine, there are mamas and babies and flowers in bloom, and high-flown strutters with a boombox too. So take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You are right smack dab in the midst of the action. You're a chain reaction. You're in the right place at the right time. You're a legend in your own mind, so take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. There's a promise in the air that you breathe, even if you don't believe it. You can feel it in the smiles of a summer night. You can hear it on the edge of your dreams, softly singing in the starlight. Wake up, baby, everything is alright. So take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You are right smack dab in the midst of the action. You're a chain reaction. You're in the right place at the right time. You're a legend in your own mind, so take it easy, baby. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle. You're in the middle of a miracle.
Emmas, let's give them some more love. Okay, so if you want to stand for our closing affirmation, As we speak our truth with love, we are set free. As we speak our truth with love, we are set free. I forgot to say, repeat after me. As we risk going beyond what's been done before, we become the example of what is possible. As we risk going beyond what has done before, we become the example of what is possible. As we celebrate life, divine life brings us more to celebrate. Life brings us more to celebrate. And so it is. Thank you for being here.